So, Hannity, thanks a lot for taking the time. I mean, you got TV, radio, Hannity.com. You got kung fu lessons in the morning. I mean, you got the
It's not
book.
kung fu. Where
Oh,
did you? All right, I have to give a small history, and then I'll end. Bill O'Reilly, I train 90 minutes a day, 4 to 5 days a week in mixed martial arts, Krav Maga, Kempo, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. We do sticks, blades, firearms, situational defense, and it's a passion of mine. And you
wow.
just reduce it to, oh, you do that with a kung fu thing or whatever else you say, or
Well, I don't
kick.
understand. Here's what I don't understand. Why aren't you taking Irish martial arts? Do you know what
I
Irish
have,
martial arts are?
yeah,
You
it's
you
just
throw up
just
you throw a
brawl.
pint of Guinness at somebody. I mean, that's it. You don't need a lot of lessons for that.
Oh man, you reminded me of Conor McGregor in the bar. All right, so I got to tell everybody, and then it's your interview,
All
but I
right.
have to tell your audience. So Bill comes on my radio show every Wednesday, and Bill has been alerting me now for over a month. I want you to know this, Hannity. This interview I'm doing, it's my interview. It's a Bill O'Reilly interview. It's not going to be a cupcake interview. And I'm like, okay, Bill, I haven't slept in a month because I'm worried about the non-cupcake interview I'm about to get. It's like I walked into a war zone,
No, you
no
should
spin
be.
zone.
All right. So you write the book, and I read the book, and it's basically a big picture, not a micro book, a big picture of what happens if Donald Trump loses and why you believe he should not lose. That's the premise of the book. But now I got to get inside this. So you know Trump as well as anybody other than his immediate family.
We both have known him for what 25 years, right? At
Right, but
least.
you now have more access to him than anybody as far as media is
That's a
concerned.
rumor, Bill. I neither confirm nor deny. But go ahead.
Okay, I know you do. How has he changed? How has Donald Trump changed since he's been
Great
president?
question. Okay, first of all, I credit you because Bill O'Reilly asks questions that nobody else will ask. That is a great question. I have, I think, Bill, that we have seen a massive growth, a trajectory that literally is like vertical. And when you come from the private sector as he did, and then you go into this, what we call the swamp, and then you're used to doing deals, you're used to, brawling, and I got to deal with these crazy people in Congress and 99% of the media that if Donald Trump cured cancer, they would still want to impeach him. But
Yeah.
he has grown. Oh, I've never seen such growth. There's the short answer.
Okay. I see him as frustrated, angry at times. It's taken the presidency has taken its toll on him physically. He's much more overweight than he used to be, hunched over a little bit. You see that with every president that's ever
Every
served.
president.
Right.
Yeah.
So I see him as a changed man, primarily because I don't think he was prepared for the hatred that is being directed at him. We're all human beings, we all have sensitivities. But as you know, and I agree, there has never been a president in modern times as hated as Donald
No,
Trump. So here's the next
no.
question. Why?
Because he has confronted the swamp in ways that nobody could have imagined, and he's defeated them, and they've tried to kill him now politically so many different ways. The media hates him because Donald Trump, I predict, till the day we die and then beyond, has permanently branded right up here in every media group's forehead fake news. Because it is fake, it's agenda driven, they hate him.
He challenges back. I remember when I interviewed Bush the Younger, I said to him in the White House, how can you take all this hatred toward you? And he goes,
Conversation.
factor. Yeah, he goes, factor. I just ignore it. But Trump's the exact opposite. He confronts it, and that makes it worse. But it's beyond that. On page 203 of your book, you write about the education secretary, Betsy DeVos, and a Texas attorney who says he wouldn't mind if Miss DeVos is sexually assaulted. Now, that's the level of hatred that not only is directed at Donald Trump, but everybody who either works for him or supports him or plays golf with him is subjected to that kind of malice. And I'm still going, I have never seen anything like this.
I hate to tell your audience this. There have over the years been hundreds of millions of dollars spent on anybody that's not part of the media mob or the swamp in Washington to shut us up, to get us fired. They attack you financially. They want to boycott you. Why? Because they just don't like what you say.
Biden going to show up for the debates?
He better. I think if he doesn't, he loses. That's simple.
I think
Game
he will.
over. Check.
But the New York Times telling him today, one of their columnists, don't debate, Joe. Don't show up.
That's the second time now. I didn't even see. I don't read that piece of garbage anymore. But I will say this, Bill. It's sad when we've gotten to a point in this country where what we do for a living comes at such a high personal cost. And by the way, whatever we might go through and the garbage and the hundreds of millions of dollars to silence any voice that the woke group doesn't agree with, Donald Trump is taking on the chin day in and day out, every second of every day. And I will tell you, there is a group of Americans out there that, as we saw in the Cato Institute study, they're not going to tell any pollster ever what they're going to do.
Let's talk about the Fox News channel. So 24 years ago, I can't believe it. What was I, 16 years old, and you were 12. 24 years ago, I got a call. I had just wrapped up a master's degree at Harvard. How about that, Hannity? Huh? Isn't that pretty darn impressive?
Really, go ahead, drop away, Bill. I'm cool with that. Go ahead.
I mean, it's not kung fu lessons, but it's okay.
Tells me every week on my radio show, Hannity, I'm just a simple man. I'll give you the simple man.
I'm the simplest guy that ever graduated from Harvard. Okay, so 24 years ago, I get a call. You get a call. I didn't know you were a local radio host. You get a call. I get a call. Come on in, talk to Roger Ailes. Going to start this new network. Goes up October 5th, 1996. October
6th.
Yeah, but 24 years ago. And so I remember the first meeting that we were in some kind of warehouse. They were going to, after we got hired, they're going to take our picture. And there's you and Combs standing there. Catherine Cryer, who had the 8 o'clock slot. I had the 6 o'clock slot. And we were chatting. I mean, it's two Irish guys and this and that, and we're getting to know each other. Did you ever...
No, you would try to intimidate everybody in the room, Mr. Simple Man. But go ahead, I'm teasing.
I was chewing tobacco and stuff like that. Yeah.
By the way, a backstory. One day I was smoking a cigar in my office, and one of the primetime hosts on at the time didn't exactly like the smell. I got yelled at. So, but I don't smoke cigars.
But my question back then is, did you have any idea that this would become a success? Because I thought it would. That's why I signed a contract, but I wasn't sure. Did you know?
Bill, I don't need this. I'm now saying something I don't tell many people. Ever since I did my first radio show, I just expect the day I'm doing that show that somebody's going to say, we made a mistake. Why did that even happen? If you would have told me back in October 1996 that I would still be on the Fox News channel, I'm now 25 years, or on the radio. I started my radio journey, Bill, in 1987. That's 33 years ago. I am more surprised than anybody, and I feel blessed beyond measure. Now, you were a huge part of the channel's success for all of those years. By the way, I learned being number 2 is a lot better than being number 1 because you got the heat a lot more than we did. And Alan, who I loved, and God rest his soul, I felt like the luckiest guy in the world. But I do say this. I shudder to think what the country would be like without at least one channel.
Fox News has changed now. I'm not going to, I've never spoken about Fox News.
Are you going to take like a big wedge? Like, is this like the non-cupcake part where you're going to like make me try and be? I love what this channel.
Would you acknowledge that Fox News has changed?
You're asking a good question. I'm going to say something that some people may not like here, and that is, I'm so busy every day, Bill. I do like to catch Fox and Friends in the morning. In my radio studio, you've been in the studio. I have 4 TVs. I have 5 or 6 computers in front of me, and I spend my day. I like to quietly reflect and study before radio and TV.
Right now, in the United States of America, you are either the most powerful conservative traditional voice or tied with Limbaugh. It's close.
Or what?
Or tied with Rush Limbaugh, because Limbaugh doesn't have a TV presence in primetime and you do. So you can make an argument, are the most powerful conservative traditional media voice. Your parents were working class people. Both of them worked. Okay?
Yes.
How do you think they would process? Number one, you're one of the wealthiest people, broadcasters, and number two, you're one of the most, probably the most powerful. How would your parents process that?
So my father died 6 months after I started at Fox, and I did get him a satellite dish so he can watch. And then I worked at a radio station in New York at 11 at night till 2 in the morning, and I loved late night radio. It was actually really fun. And he would listen all night, 4 straight hours, and then he'd say, "Where did this all come from?" I said, "Dad, you yelled at me every day to shut the radio off. I wasn't a TV watcher. I listened to the talk radio guys." Well, how would they feel? I'm going to tell you how they'll feel, Bill O'Reilly. I know God has blessed them because they had a much harder life than I've had. Every time I want to whine, bitch, and complain, I think about their life. I have no right to complain because I stand on the shoulders of very dirt poor grandparents, poor parents that never vacationed, bought a new car, maybe late in life, and that gave everything to their kids so that we could get a Catholic school education because they saw that as an opportunity out.
Final question. Live Free or Die is the name of your book. Has
Yes.
New Hampshire sued you yet? I mean, you rip off their state motto, Hannity.
So Live Free or Die, the bottom of that says in Latin, live free or America dies. We went to schools where we studied Latin back in the day, which is kind of ageless. And I wasn't good at it, but that live free or die is how I feel.
So the book is Live Free or Die. It will open as a #1 New York Times bestseller, sending all of those people into a safe space. They'll all be very agitated. Hannity's #1. Who can we fire? How can we get it? That's what's going to happen.
I challenge Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Let's do this again on your network. Okay.
All right.
Except I get to do the non-cupcake interview with me and ask you questions that nobody's ever asked you. How's that? Deal?
September 8th, Killing Crazy Horses out. Okay.
Deal.
And then you can throw the cupcakes at me. All right? That's a deal.
Wow. I finally survived. Oh, thank God.